Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Good Shabbos. It's wonderful to see you. Just a reminder, please, if you have anything in your pocket that makes noise, unless it's a kazoo, because it's Cantor, Cotler's favorite instrument, please put it on the silent mode so that we can be present for each other and not distracted by those things that distract us. We're in this period of counting. You know, it's some of you might, I don't know if you've read the news lately, there's an election going on this year, and when you tune into some of the news channels, which I highly recommend you not to, because it gets you worked up, but you turn into the news channel, you'll see often a little countdown clock to the next primary. So I noticed the other day it was 32 hours and 15 minutes and 11 seconds until the Indiana primary. And I was really glad they had the countdown clock going, because I don't know what I would have done if I didn't know exactly how many seconds were left until the primary. But in our Jewish calendar, we're in this period of counting too, but it's not that countdown clock that might make you feel a little anxious. We're counting up to something that's really special, something that's extraordinary. In fact, it's as special a thing as you can imagine. We're counting up to Zman Matan Toratenu. Every day in this period of the Omer, we're counting up to the time of Shavuot, when we'll celebrate receiving Torah. And our tradition teaches that it's a time also for counting our blessings and to think about how we can make our days count. Instead of just counting days, we think about how we make our days count. And when we gather for Shabbat, we're experiencing that moment of trying to make time matter. And when we gather for a moment of saying thank you to a teacher, to a friend, to someone who has been so important to our congregation for many years now, and when we honor him, as we're going to be doing tonight for Cantor Cotler, soon to be, where is he? Soon to be Rabbi Cantor. Is it Rabbi Cantor or Cantor Rabbi? Rabbi. Just don't call him late for dinner. But when we gather for a moment like that, we're also counting blessings, and we're making relationships matter and relationships count. So thank you all for being with us for Shabbat, for being with us in this period of anticipation as we move towards Shavuot, as we move towards Yom Ha'atzmaut next week, and for being together to give thanks to God for our many, many blessings. We begin to welcome Shabbat with Shalom Aleichem on page 24. Please join with us.
ממלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא לי Shalom, מלאכי עליון ממלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. לי, 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 צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. ממלך, מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu le'adlik ner, le'adlik ner.
Page 20, Lecha Dodi. La 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 Lecha Dodi, ya la 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 likrat kala, ya la 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 pnei Shabbat, pnei Shabbat nekah. La 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 lecha dodi, ya la 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 likrat kala, ya la 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 pnei Shabbat, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor vezachor bedibur echad, Ishmiyanu el hamilchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, l'shemu tiferet ve'lithilah. La 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 lecha dodi, ya la 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 likrat kala, ya la 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 pnei Shabbat, pnei Shabbat nekah. La 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 lecha dodi, ya la 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 likrat kala, ya la 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 pnei Shabbat, pnei Shabbat nekah. Likrat Shabbat, lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor haberacha, meirosh miketem nesucha, sof maaseh v'machshava techila. La 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 lecha dodi, ya la 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 likrat kala, ya la 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 pnei Shabbat, pnei Shabbat nekah. La 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 lecha dodi, יאללה לה 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 לקראת כלה יאללה לה 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 פני שבת נקבלה בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה יאי לי לי יאללה לה 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 לך דודי יאללה לה 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 לקראת כלה יאללה לה 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 פני שבת נקבלה לה 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 לך דודי יאללה לה 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 לקראת כלה יאללה לה 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 פני שבת נקבלה Page 28, Baruch Hu. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai. ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד, ברוך אתה אדוני. המריב הרבים,
But shalom, everybody. In a moment, Cantor Cotler will be leading us in the Shema, and I thought it was a good time to reflect on the words we'll be chanting together. It's actually required in the Torah that we recite the Shema, all the paragraphs of the Shema, twice a day, once in the morning and once in the evening. But what I find most interesting is that the tradition teaches further that not only are we to recite it, we're to keep in mind that while we are reciting it, we are actually doing a mitzvah, actually doing a commandment. As a matter of fact, prior to reciting the Shema, we're supposed to take a moment and concentrate and remind ourselves that we're fulfilling a positive commandment. And further, we're supposed to concentrate on the words of the Shema, particularly the first two verses, Shema Yisrael and Baruch Shem. And we're taught that we should enunciate every single of the words clearly. We shouldn't run them together. In the Shulchan Aruch, in the Code of Jewish Law, it's explained that when we read the words of the Shema, we're supposed to say them with a sense of awe and a sense of trepidation. In fact, we're supposed to chant them as a new proclamation, as if the words and the instructions and the commandment had never been given. We're not supposed to do it routinely, and I think that's fantastic. Even the words of the Shema, you know them. Ve'achavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha, and you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And these commandments, these words, Dvarim, which I command you this day, it's as if God is speaking to us this day, freshly at this moment. Cantor Cotler, not yet. Kyle, over the years as an intern and soon to be as a rabbi, I've watched you grow alongside so many of us. We've watched your bright demeanor, your enthusiasm that you brought to the pulpit, and more recent months, your thought, as I watched you give a Devar Torah in our Shabbat morning minyan. So if as congregants we're to chant the Shema as if it were the very first time, you have helped us to do that, always bringing a brightness and a freshness, always chanting the Shema and every other verse that you chant with joy and with a full heart. May you have many blessings in life, among them the privilege of reciting the Shema as you stand in front of and with your congregation countless times and for countless years to come. And may it be for them and for you with the feeling that you're chanting it for the very first time.
So those of you who have come to Friday night services that I've been doing for the last year or so know that instead of doing just the Shema, I do a piece called Listen, which was written by my dad, who's going to be playing it with me tonight. He's the cantor out in Congregation Orami, Calabasas, and we have a joke that now that I'm a cantor as well, I'm Cantor Cotler 2.0, less lag, less crashes, more reliable. So hopefully Cantor Cotler 1.0 doesn't make any mistakes. If you're lost, you feel afraid, and you don't know what to say, then listen to our God. Is there a question on your mind? Is the answer hard to find? Then listen to our God. Listen with all your heart and soul, and with all your mind. Write them and learn them and teach them well, every morning and night. Close your eyes and listen. Quiet yourself, there's nothing to say. Stop all the chatter that gets in the way, and listen to our God. When the wind and the thunder finally finally disappear, there's still a voice that you will hear if you listen. Listen to our God. You can hear it from the top of the highest hill or from the valley below. It can come from the edge of the universe. It can come from within your soul. Close your eyes and listen. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Listen to our God. Listen to our God. Nice job, Dad.
Thank you.
Page 36. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Page 40, מי כמוך. נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, צליאנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, יאללה לה 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 יאללה לה לה לה.
Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu malkeinu malkeinu l'chaim
Uferos aleinu sukat shelomecha v'takneinu beitza tova milfanecha beitza tova milfanecha v'hoshienu leman shemecha leman shemecha
Ve'hagen ba'adeinu ve'aser me'aleinu oyev dever ve'cherev ve'ra ve'yagon וחרב ורב ורב ויגון
ויחסר שטן מלפנינו ומאחרינו
ובצל כנפיך
תסתירנו
כי אל שומרנו
ומצילנו אתה
כי אל מלך חנון ורחום
חנון ורחום אתה חנון חנון ורחום אתה
ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם
ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך
ברוך אתה אדוני הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו
page 44, Vishamru.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת וינפש ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם
We turn now to page 253, and this is normally where we would do the Misha Berach. But instead of doing the Misha Berach, if you look on the bottom of page 253, on the bottom left, there's a prayer called Birkat HaGomel. And it explains on the very bottom that it may be recited by one who has survived a life-changing situation. And this melody that we're going to do is one that I wrote last year as part of my thesis. It was part of a program where I wrote new music for melodies that were underrepresented or just didn't have a lot of music. So I wrote this actually for David Cates and his wife Cantor Linda Cates, and we did it together as a duet. So I've never done it here before, so I figure, it's my last Friday here, may as well do it. So.
blessed are you, Adonai. Blessed are you, Adonai.
I'm so grateful.
Selah,
I'm so
Selah, 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 Amen.
You were holding back on us, Kyle. What do you call a cantor and a rabbi, a person who's both? It's a ranter. It's obvious. Right? That makes total sense, doesn't it? So when a new rabbi or cantor is ordained, the process is called smicha, and we take our hands and we place them on the head or the shoulders of the new ordinee. And we say to a rabbi, Yoreh, Yoreh, Yadin, Yadin. Teach, teach, judge, judge. And in one act, in that simple act, the symbolism is deeply powerful because the ordainer, the one putting the hands on the ordinee, represents the past, represents the accumulated knowledge, the wisdom of one who has been in the field, in the profession for a while. And Kyle has had the opportunity to be touched, as it were, by many clergy, by Cantor Lamb first as a student in the school of Cantorial School at AJR, and by, of course, the clergy at Stephen Wise, and as the rest of the clergy at Stephen Wise. And as a member of our clergy, you're in a bit of a, well, there's nothing, I'm not saying anything that's going to be funny. It's an academic institution. It's a place where we're challenged by each other, and we're challenged to reach a higher bar because of the nature of the place. So by having Kyle in the mix, we've been able to share our collective wisdom with him and share our knowledge, and hopefully by placing our hands on him, so to speak, we've given him that perspective. But then the next part of the ritual is Yoreh, Yoreh, Yadin, Yadin, and that's about looking to the future, because what we acknowledge is that the person who is being ordained has the challenge of being a clergy person for the Jewish community in generations ahead, for the Jewish community to come. We, in the past, place the hands on. We challenge the one who will be challenged by the future, who will be taking on the future, to use the accumulated knowledge to prepare the next generations, to be a teacher, a rabbi, a chazan for the next generation. So as we turn to the Amidah and recite the names of our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, in a way, we acknowledge that we all carry that sense of smicha. We've all been touched in some way by the generations before us, and we're all challenged to confront the generation to come. And what we know is that we are who we are, and this is a song I think we're going to sing later, because we stand on the shoulders of the ones who've come before us. And then unless we incorporate some of who they are and what they were into ourselves, we're less adequate. So Kyle, in a few weeks, hands will be placed on your head. In a few weeks, you will be given the task of officially leading a community. You're moving to New York to be a cantor on Long Island. And you'll be given that challenge of taking what you've learned and what you've accumulated and what has been placed on your shoulders and conveying that love and that wisdom and that embrace of Torah and Judaism and God's presence to the next generations. We continue with the Amidah. It is on page 46. As you know, we recite it silently and standing, and when you reach page 62, you may be seated. Please rise.
So the next piece we'll do, normally when you come out of the Amidah, you say a prayer for peace. I would say shalom usually. We're going to do another piece that I wrote for my recital, following that theme of peace. It's not necessarily overtly about peace, but my inspiration for this was to write something inspired by the liturgy, specifically a conversation that Jonathan and David had with each other, in which they say, Adonai yihyeh beni uvencha. God's going to be between you and between me. And I was particularly moved by this statement because there's a debate whether or not their relationship was more than just platonic. And I wanted to use that as a catalyst because Reformed Judaism is so welcoming and so accepting. So I wanted to write this song of peace that no matter who you are, whether you're black or white, LGBT, that this synagogue and all Reformed synagogues should be a safe space for you, and a house of peace, a house of prayer, and a house of learning. So I wrote this with a Jewish singer-songwriter named Julie Silver, and she added the opening line, which is a quote from Psalm, which says, "And the stone that the builders rejected has become the chief cornerstone. Those who were cast out, those who were neglected, are going to be the foundation of the Jewish people." It's called "We Are the Faces of God." And the stone that the builders rejected has become the chief cornerstone, the chief cornerstone. We are the faces of God. You and you. We are the faces of God. You and you. We are the faces of God. You and you. We are the faces of God. You and you. We are the faces of God. Adonai yihyeh beni uvencha. We are the faces of God. Adonai yihyeh beni uvencha. We are the faces of God. And the stone that the builders rejected has become the chief cornerstone, the chief cornerstone. We are the faces of God. You and you. We are the faces of God. You and you. We are the faces of God. Adonai yihyeh beni uvencha. We are the faces of God. Adonai yihyeh beni uvencha. We are the faces of God. You and you. We are the faces of God. You and you. We are the faces of God. We are the faces of God. We are the faces, the beautiful faces. We are the faces
First of all, Yasher Koach, Kyle. On a beautiful job done this evening with the music that you've written, that which came from your heart, we received in our hearts. You possess so many talents, so many blessings that we have come to appreciate. I am standing here not just representing myself and the synagogue, but I'm representing Cantor Anchor, who is my colleague at the Academy for Jewish Religion. And I can say on behalf of both of us that we have watched you grow and that we have reveled in the progress and the maturity that you have shown over the last 5 years, going on 6 years. And we are proud of you. We are proud that you have taken your studies seriously and that you have learned what it means to be a clay kodesh, to be a holy vessel, to be a clergy person. I recall when you first started the school, we had many, shall I say, vigorous discussions about what it means to pray and what it means to have a concept of God and all that that means while you're standing at the bima representing people in prayer. And what impressed me the first semester you were in my class were the questions that you asked and the fact that you were not willing to accept everything that people told you, but you questioned it. And you did so openly and freely. And that is the struggle that we all have as Jews. That's why we're called Yisrael, one who wrestles with God. And I appreciate that so much in you, that you're always wrestling with the concept of what it means to stand here and be authentic and to be someone who, when the words come out of your mouth, whether they're singing or speaking, are authentic to you so that you can represent the people truly in the prayer that you believe. So that which you have written tonight and the songs and other things that you've written before represent you. And they're a window to your soul on who you are. So we at Stephen Wise have had the pleasure. I remember when Rabbi Hersher and I first met with you to prepare you to be an intern here. We were impressed with many things. You have a lot of charm. Charm is a very important thing if used properly. You are witty. You are quick. You are fun. You're fun to be with. You're fun to sing with. And you're fun to watch. Because when you get going, when something does touch your heart, it comes out and it inspires others. That is an important aspect of what it means to be a rabbi or a cantor. Rachel's here with you this evening, and your parents. People who love you can't be prouder than to see you go from l'chaya l'chaya, from one strength to another. You completed our cantorial program. You became an ordained cantor. Now you're going to become an ordained rabbi. And of all places that you're moving to, it's Syosset, New York, on Long Island. I know, and Donna know, we know a lot about Syosset, Long Island. We moved from Los Angeles to Syosset, Long Island in 1973 to take a pulpit called Midway Jewish Center on South Oyster Bay Road. Our neighboring congregation was North Shore Reform, where you're going to be the cantor. At the time, what distinguished North Shore Reform for me was it was close to the Long Island Railroad Station in Syosset, in a beautiful, beautiful area, in a beautiful synagogue, with an exceptional tradition of wonderful chazanim, wonderful cantors there. And so they're receiving someone that comes from a tradition, a family tradition. Nay, I say, the family business. Your grandfather, your father, and now you. So you wear two hats, but it's one hat. One hat. And that one hat is every single morning we say, Elu devarim she'ein lahem shi'ur, that these are the things to which you cannot put enough in, but your reward your revach, will be much. And the first one is kibud avaim, honor your parents. And that you do, and your family. And it goes on to a list of, and it says at the end, Talmud Torah keneged kulam, and the study of Torah exceeds them all. And then the Reform put in one of our prayer books, because it leads to them all. And so anything that leads to knowledge, anything that leads to inspiration through the text, through words, through our Torah, through our liturgy, Elu devarim shein lahem shiur, what these things are beyond precious worth. They are the essence of who we are. So on behalf of our clergy, on behalf of our congregants, on behalf of our board, and those who you've served so beautifully since you became an intern, now you're going on your way. So first I say to you, may you be blessed as you go on your way. May you be guided in peace. May you be blessed with health and joy. May this be your blessing. And to that we say, Amen. For me, this is a special honor, because last year when I put my hands on you and ordained you, I feel as if Karina and I in particular have a lot of skin in the game, as they say. This is revach, reward for us. You can't eat this. He always likes to bring some food. He always cooks. He's at a garden, and he would bring food in, and I'd say, looks very interesting to me. Enjoy it. For me, what is in this package could not be a greater gift to all of us. This is a full, complete series of Sidurim for all the holidays and for Shabbat, with commentary. I don't know of any legacy, I don't know of any present that someone could give someone in our profession that has more meaning than the text. Whether you're a rabbi giving a drash, whether you're giving a shiur lesson on the text, or whether you're chanting the text and painting the words and making them come alive, nothing is greater than the text. The music is a slave to the text. It has to make the text come alive. And so this is the text. I give this to you and hope you will cherish this. If you can lift it up. And then I would like to call upon our clergy to come up for a second.
Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God be kind to you, you be kind to others.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Shalom.
May God's presence watch over you.
And grant you the gift of peace.
V'yasem lecha shalom. Shalom. Shalom.
Oh boy. It's very emotional. All right, let me give this to my mom to hold. If she can hold it. So I wrote out a whole thing here, and I was really excited because Ron's been my mentor this year, and I've kind of run by all my sermons and drashes with him. And he says, you can go a little bit further. They're mostly 10 or so minutes. And when I told him how long this one was, he's like, that is so long, Kyle. It's only supposed to be an hour service. But bear with me, everything in here, it's very heartfelt. Shabbat Shalom, and thank you all for coming this evening. It means the world to me and my family to receive this type of support. There's so much I would like to share, and there are countless people who deserve recognition. When I joined the Wise family about 4 years ago, I realized pretty quickly that I was going to be an incredible cantor, maybe even one of the best. I came to this realization after I finished leading a service during a weekday morning, and everybody was wearing tefillin except for me. I was leading the service by myself, and about halfway through, Cantor Lamb walked in the back, looked at me, looked around, and then back at me. He stood there glaring, and I couldn't figure out why. Was I stumbling over my Hebrew? Did I confuse some of the melodies? What did I do wrong? After the service, Nate approached me and said, "How do you think you did?" Fine, I guess. He just stared at me and nodded. "You didn't notice that everyone had tefillin on except for you?" "I did notice that, Nate, but I'm a Reformed Jew. I've never worn tefillin before, and I don't even own tefillin." This was just one instance, of which there were many, where I unknowingly pushed Nate's buttons. And I did get quite good at it. We went to his office, and he pulled out a bag with the word tefillin emblazoned on it and said, "Here, it's yours now." Now, for those of you who don't know me intimately, I love sci-fi, fantasy, and comics. One area of particular interest for me this year was studying Joseph Campbell and the monomyth, which is the common template of a broad category of tales that involve a hero who goes on an adventure, often receiving a magical item along the way, and in a decisive crisis wins a victory, and then comes home changed or transformed. So receiving tefillin from Nate was like Luke Skywalker receiving his lightsaber from Obi-Wan Kenobi, or Harry Potter obtaining his wand from Ollivander. I had just received Cantor Nathan Lamb's tefillin. What sorts of supernatural powers would these diminutive leather straps and boxes imbue on me? Would I be worthy to wield the power within? As he showed me how to wrap it around my arm, I couldn't help but think this was the initiation of my adventure as a cantor. I could feel the nusach coursing through my veins. By the time I had rounded the 5th wrap around my arm, I had the inexplicable urge to buy a Porsche. And I was really hoping that's what was going to be in the box. After a few moments, Nate finished showing me how to wrap the tefillin around my hand. The only other step I needed to take to complete the ritual was to place the second box and strap on my head. So I picked it up, stared at it intently, and placed it on my head. But it didn't fit. To my surprise, my head was too big. Think about that symbolism. If I have a bigger head than Nate, then surely I must be one of the best cantors. It's a true story. As I prepare for my move to New York and my first full-time position, I spent a good deal of time reflecting on my time here at Wise. When I found out I was going to work at Wise, I remember people telling me things like, "It's a huge institution, it's very corporate, it doesn't even really feel like a Reformed temple." I would learn that most of what people were telling me was just inaccurate. But there were kernels of truth in these rumors. What people were trying to convey was that Stephen Wise is different. I was born with a fair amount of yichus, of privilege. I grew up the son of a cantor. I was immersed in Jewish life, and I spent much of my youth at Jewish camps, religious school, and Shabbat services. I traveled extensively with my father, and I've attended services at temples all over North America. There are quite a variety, but there are none like Wise. One of the unique aspects of Wise is the transiency of the clergy here. Some would say that's a negative trait. Why would anyone want to work at a synagogue that seems to lose one or more rabbis or cantors every year? Because the transiency is not because Wise is dysfunctional, but rather being employed here is like playing basketball at Duke or playing football at USC. Wise has such a phenomenal reputation and prepares clergy so thoroughly. Other synagogues essentially want to draft us as soon as they can. Wise holds worship, Israel, education, and music to such a high caliber, it's no wonder that the Frosts, Wissetts, Cates, Feldmans, Andersons, Medwins, and now Cotlers and Fortman Zerby Bertas are being employed at some of the finest synagogues in their respective areas. I think Wise is long overdue to start retiring jerseys, or I guess in this case, retire talitot, and adorn the walls of the sanctuary with all the rabbinic and cantorial luminaries that have preached and davened here. Another unique aspect of Wise is the freedom and autonomy in which all the clergy operate. Ron alluded to it. There's very little micromanaging. All the rabbis and cantors are afforded opportunities to explore their passions and engage in their own spiritual and intellectual pursuits. Even as an intern, I was given a basic outline of the temple's expectation, but my contract was essentially one sentence: do your job. Wise has continually impressed me with its steadfast commitment to hiring clergy of the highest pedigree and delivering inspiring Judaism on every level. I cannot begin to express how excited I am for everyone here. There have been so many changes in the last 4 years, and I know that Wise will continue to be a champion of progressive Judaism as an iconoclastic institution, galvanizing not only its employees and congregants, but other synagogues and clergy around the country. But sadly, my sojourn here has come to an end. My valediction would not be complete without acknowledging the individuals with whom I worked most closely. While I would like to recognize all the teachers, administrators, and congregants who have impacted me, we would be here all night if I did. So I will distill it down to a few who not only worked with me, but mentored me from intern to cantor to rabbi. Each of these generous individuals taught me a valuable lesson by imparting in me a virtue which I will cherish and for which I will remain eternally grateful. Eli, compassion. One of the skills clergy develop is the ability to read people. We work with people on such a deep, intimate, and spiritual level that only reading them at face value is a great disservice not only to oneself, but to those around us. I remember the first time I met Eli. Nate was planning on hiring me, but wanted me to sing in front of Eli first. Nate coached me and prepped me, and I sang a few pieces for Eli. Though I should have been nervous, I wasn't. Something about Eli's demeanor and expression put me at ease, and that struck me as unusual. Weren't senior rabbis supposed to be pensive and intimidating? Eli wasn't. And the more time I spent with Eli, I realized he really spent time with me. He always made me feel like I was being heard, and he did not let distractions get in the way of our conversations. When you're in a room with Eli, you are the focus of his attention. And in this age of instant gratification and technological distractions, Eli's compassion to me and those around him was a profoundly gentle yet powerful lesson. I am grateful to you, Eli, for showing me that everyone should be afforded kavod and compassion. David, commitment. I will be honest. It took me quite a while to warm up to you, David. David was always nice, too nice. And David was always pious, too pious. I could not shake the feeling that no one could possibly be that friendly and care that much about Judaism. But David does. David is one of the most kind, passionate rabbis I've ever met. He says what he means and mean what he says. And most importantly, you model it for everyone around you. My fondest memory of David was when we were in the chapel a few years ago doing a service together. I think it was around high holidays. And we opened the ark for everyone to have their own private moment with the Torah. And after everyone had finished, David was the last person to approach the ark. He stood there for a few minutes and began to weep. And when he finished, he wiped away his tears. And I approached him and I asked, "Is everything all right?" And he responded by saying, "I really believe this. I hope I can be a better me this year." And I'll never forget that moment. Because sometimes as clergy, we can become complacent or lose our faith through repetition. David, I'm grateful to you for showing me what it means to be a committed Jew. Yoshi, leadership. I worked quite extensively with Yoshi during my second and third year here. He and I covered a number of the school services on Thursdays and Fridays. We were a really great team. And he was an enthusiastic and exemplary partner. The highlight for me, and I would imagine for the children too, was when Yoshi would talk about the Parsha or tell a story, we would engage in an improvisational comical skit in which he would narrate, and I would have to act out whatever he said. Additionally, he was always sensitive to my needs, and he would give advice openly. He was articulate and clear with his instructions. But it wasn't until this year that my admiration for Yoshi reached new heights. In my mind, I would have assumed that now that he is the senior rabbi, he could just check out of the menial tasks, focus solely on the big picture. On the contrary, Yoshi has modeled for me what it means to be a Jewish leader. He strives to be the first person to volunteer to visit someone in the hospital or at their home or lead a Shiva minyan. Yoshi attends Shabbat minyans Saturday mornings to make sure everything is just running smoothly. He continues to visit the elementary school services and participates. Yoshi goes above and beyond what he actually needs to do. His love and vision for wise are apparent every time he walks onto this site. I am grateful to you, Yoshi, for showing me that no matter what title we hold, our obligation to the Jewish people should never change. The best leaders lead by example. Ron, courage. As I mentioned earlier, WISE is a unique, iconoclastic institution. So I don't think it should come as any surprise to us that politically, WISE tends to lean a bit further to the right than many other congregations. And that is by no means a qualitative statement, rather just an observation. But regardless of what the political or religious orientation of a synagogue might ascribe to, clergy must remain sensitive and true to what they talk or sing about. Sometimes we may go so far as to pander to our constituents. I know I'm guilty of it. Why? Because I sometimes am afraid of being judged for what I really believe, or worse, being judged for not yet having a fully fleshed out belief. But that's not Ron. Ron is the closest person I know to a prophet, because prophets speak truth to power and from the heart, whether the people want to hear it or not. Prophets must be stalwarts of truth and justice. Prophets cannot let skeptics or naysayers impede their message, because the pursuit of truth and justice supersedes all else. And that's Ron. Ron has been my mentor this past year as I completed my rabbinic internship, and he's helped me find my rabbinic voice. He was scrupulous and meticulous in his critiques of my writing. He encouraged me to break from conventions in the pursuit of finding incisive significance in the messages I was delivering. My fondest memory of working with Ron were during the high holidays. It seemed like every year someone stormed out of Ron's sermon or shouted an obscenity at him mid-sentence. If someone did that to me, I would be mortified. But Ron shows tremendous patience and courage, remaining true to himself and his message. I am grateful to you, Ron, for showing me what real courage looks like. Sarah, partnership. And Sarah, if I know you like I do, you're going to start crying. I know. Please don't, because if you do, I will too. So hold it together. Sarah and I had a relationship at school prior to my working here. But it wasn't until I started working here that I realized what a wonderful friend and colleague she was. Everyone else I worked with here was my senior in age and or position. To have someone my age to commiserate with or share feedback with was invaluable. Not long after she married, she started referring to her Nate as her husband and to me as her work husband. Sarah taught me about flexibility, and most importantly, she helped me keep my irreverent humor in check. Sarah, I'm grateful to you for showing me how to be a good listener and an even better colleague. Nate, professionalism. I'll say the same thing to you that I said to Sarah. No crying, Nate. I know you're a big softie, but try to hold it together. I'll start by sharing one of my favorite passages from the Tanakh. There's a line in the first chapter in the book of Job in which Job exclaims, Adonai Natan, Adonai Lakach, Yehi Shem Adonai Mevarach. God gave, and God has taken away. Blessed is God's name. And this is a pretty accurate translation. However, I interpreted it and used it as my credo while I worked for Nate. I reinterpreted it and used it as a credo. You see, Nate's name, his Hebrew name, is Natan. So if we treat the word Natan as Nate's name and not as I previously translated it as gave, Job offers some pretty sound personal advice to me working with Nate. The new translation of Adonai Natan, Adonai Lakach, Yehi Shem Adonai Mevarach would be, Nate is a God, and God takes things away. Blessed be Nate's name. And that just about sums up my experience working with him. And Nate's reputation in the Jewish world is impressive. He's a dean, a voice teacher, a patron of the arts, and a master of chant and music. Shameless plug, if you've never attended Second Day Rosh Hashanah here, you have to come. Watching Nate daven is like watching Kobe in Game 7. Absolutely amazing. In short, he is the real deal, a complete package. But I don't think any of the above will be the primary part of your legacy. Rather, I believe that Nate's legacy lies in the students he has inspired and the lives he has touched. When Nate talks about his training, he mentions his teachers with great admiration and how they influenced him. And Nate, someday, your students will do the same. As it says in Eshet Chayil, your children will rise up and bless you. Nate, you are a treasure of a Cantor and a mentor. I remember when I first started working here, you had me chant and sing for you before I led my first Saturday morning minyan. I thought I did pretty well. You even acknowledged it was pretty good. But you made it clear that if I made even one Hebrew mistake, it was one too many. So you covered my minyan for me and said, I will not let you fail, and I will not let you represent me if you do not reach your fullest potential. You pushed me, as you do all of your students, not to be as good as you, but to realize the best in me. You encouraged my professionalism, not just in music, but in my demeanor, appearance, and every aspect of my Jewish life. Though I'm totally happy with my Honda Accord, you make me want to strive to own a Porsche someday too. Did I mention that Nate has also been extremely tolerant of my jokes these last 4 years? I mentioned earlier that I was born with a Jewish pedigree. I'm so fortunate to have had a father as a Cantor. It made the transition from college into this job so easy for me. But my father could only take me so far. He could only teach me so much. Nate, you have taken me the rest of the way. You turned a song leader into a chazan. You have been as much a father figure to me as my own father has. And I know every one of your interns and trainees feels that way too. Nate, I am eternally grateful for the opportunity you granted me, all the sage wisdom you've shared with me, and most of all, for showing me what it means to be a chazan. And finally, I need to acknowledge my family, without whom I would not be the man I am today. Mom, Dad, and Noah, if you're watching at home. Each of you has provided me with undying love and support. I would not have pursued music as a major or Judaism as a profession without you. I hope to keep making you proud. And to Rachel, my love, before I met you, I questioned my belief in God. But since I met you, I know there must be a divine presence to have created such perfection as you. I was hoping you'd say, "Ah." Thank you for walking this road with me as my partner. In this week's Torah portion, Nadab and Abihu, Aaron's sons, are immolated for offering a sacrifice of strange fire to God. It is a cautionary tale because they were acting with hubris. They were not fully formed nor trained priests. Much like Nadab and Abihu, Sarah and I played with fire at times, mostly in the form of Nate's temper, but now ordained and ready to begin our own exodus into the wilderness of Ventura and Long Island, we have this incredible community to thank. Manora hamakom hazeh. How awesome is this place? Like Jacob, I had no idea how awesome this place was, but now I do. I came here as a lowly intern, and like Jacob, I leave with a new name, Rabbi Cantor. Thank you so much for inviting me into your homes these last 4 years. Thank you for forgiving my mistakes and lauding my successes. I could not have asked for a better place to grow, and I could not have asked for better people to work with. I'm so excited to see where Wise goes from here. Though I will be stationed on the other coast, I will try to make a point and visit every so often. And if you ever find yourselves in Long Island, look me up in Syosset. Shabbat Shalom, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you. So I want to sing one more piece. This is another piece written by my dad called Standing on the Shoulders. And it's a very sentimental piece for me because he wrote it thinking of his dad. And there's a particular line in here at the very end that is just very moving for me. So if I start to lose it, Dad, you have to take over. And I want to dedicate this to Wise because I feel like I really am standing on the shoulders of all the great rabbis and cantors who've been here and are still here. In the garden there's a tree planted by someone who only imagined me. What love, what vision. I marvel at the gift. No fruit could be sweeter than this. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. As my people went from land to land, something passed from hand to hand.
And it isn't just the words and stories of the ancient laws and golden glories. It's the way we study, the book we study. It's the way we study, the way. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. Today my life is full of choice, because a young man raised his voice, because a young girl took a chance. I am freedom's inheritance. Years ago they crossed the sea, and they've made a life that's come to me. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. So in the garden I'll plant a seed, a tree of life for you to read. The fruit will ripen in the sun. The words will sound when I am gone. These are the things I pass along, the fruit, the book, and the song. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me.
Our joy is celebrated on Shabbat with Kiddush, and we're blessed to have our bar mitzvah for tomorrow, Alon Moradi here. Please come forward, Alon. On page 5, I invite you all to please rise, and we'll have Kiddush together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon inchilanu, zikaron lemase v'reishit, ki hu yom tehila lemikra מקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת, מכל העמים, בשבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון, הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת לחיים.
Remain standing for Aleinu L'Shabeach, Alon. Maybe Raquel, you can help us by opening the ark.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
Kaddish Yatom, Mourner's Kaddish, can be found on page 294. There are those in our congregation tonight who are returning from houses of Shiva in the first 7 days of mourning, and some who are in the first 30 days of mourning, and others who are here to observe a yahrzeit. But together we stand as a community in solidarity and in love. On this week where Yom HaShoah was commemorated, we understand deeply that we are one people, Am Yisrael, connected in profoundly meaningful ways. And so we say these words together as we remember all those whom we mourn, and as we give thanks to God for the gift of their lives. Page 294. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divra chirutei v'amlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'vyomechon, u'v'chayei chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, tamiran b'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who makes peace on high make peace for us and for all Israel and for all humanity, and let us say amen. You can be seated. We're going to conclude this evening
With Adon Olam.
Adon Olam. That's my favorite way to conclude the service, Cantor, is Adon Olam.
I think that's good.
Which version shall we do?
We're going to do the Ami Aloni, and first verse and the last verse.
And that's my favorite version, is the Aloni first verse and last verse.
You know why we're doing that?
Why is that, Cantor?
I'm hungry.
Oh, good. Okay.
Adon Olam Asher Malach Haydididay Dididay Dididay B'terem Kol Yetzir Nivra Haydididay Dididay Dididay Le'et Nasa Ve'efzo Kol Hayday Haydiday Hayday Azay Melech Shmo Nikra Hayday Hayday Day Beyado Avyin Ruchi ויהי תישן ויעירה, ועם רוחי גווייתי, אדוני לי ולא אירא. לעת נשא וחפצו כל, אזי מלך שמוני יקרא. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, המוציא לחם מן הארץ.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. Mazel tov, Cantor Kyle.